Nigeria. This, for the association, is an annual routine, and they have set aside today to join other women worldwide to recognize and celebrate this special day. You are welcome to Chelsea Hotel, where we have been gathered to celebrate this day. My name is QS Abubakar Ahmed. I am going to be the master of ceremony, and alongside we are going to be working together with my colleague, QS Whitney Uku, who is here with me, and I'm going to give you opportunity to also welcome you. Whitney.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished ladies in the house, you're welcome once again to this great occasion, celebrating the women on this very day, on International Women's Day. Like he previously said, it's an annual event. It's done every year to appreciate women, to see their activities, to also give them accolades for all the things they have done. It's a very important day for the women. We welcome you all. The program is about to start, but not immediately. We're expecting some other personalities to come in our midst. So we crave your indulgence to please bear with us as you patiently wait. We'll soon kickstart the program.
Good morning.
While that introduction was being taken, we witnessed the arrival of the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dame Untitled. You're welcome, ma'am. Also on the delegation with her is the National President, the President of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, in person of QS Mohammed Abato, FNI QS.
Thank you.
Elijah Bashir. You're welcome, sir.
Also on the delegation of the National Executive Committee is a person who I would rather refer as the Central Bank Governor of the Council, in person of QS Osarantino Kuro, FNI QS, the Treasurer. Also on the National Executive Council, who was also the past chairperson of this WAQSN, and one of the guest speakers today, the Secretary for Marketing, in person of
Cheers, Adiram Kiai. We allow me. FNI QS.
The labor of our
where you'll see the second stanza of the national anthem. That is what we are going to adopt as our opening prayers. So once again, let me crave your indulgence as I urge you to stand up so that we can read the second stanza of the national anthem as our opening prayers. Shall we rise? So after the count of three, let's start reciting the prayers. 1, 2, 3.
O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this junction, we're going to invite the chairperson for the opening speech.
Can we put our hands together as the chairperson steps forward to deliver the welcome address?
The Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, Her Excellency Senator Pauline Taleb, being ably represented by Builder Asama Osuberu, the guest of honor here present, the President of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, QS, Muhammad Abbator, FNIQS, the National Executive Council members here present, WAQSN past chairpersons, WAQSN patrons, distinguished speakers, panelists, my professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor that I welcome you all to the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, International Women's Day 2021 celebration, which has a global theme, Choose to Challenge. I am highly grateful to our esteemed guests, speakers, and panelists for honoring our invitation. The International Women's Day is a day where women all over the world are celebrated for their contributions to the advancement of humanity in diverse fields of human endeavors. These women have a robust spirit which makes them excel in their respective areas. They deserve all the love and support that the world gives them on this day. They contribute to the lives of their families as well as the country. WAQSN has carefully chosen a theme for the 2021 seminar, which aligns with the global theme, which is building confidence to face challenges. This theme aims to highlight women's resilience in the midst of global challenges and recognize their achievements, which were recorded despite odds. It also aims to focus on issues and problems women are still facing in their respective lives. This means we have to make choices of changing the narratives and surmounting the challenges to emerge successfully and victoriously. To create an inclusive world and to remove gender bias and inequality, every woman must first make a beginning somewhere. So let us choose to challenge. Like it is often said, beginning is half done. The willingness to do something or the inclination to achieve something matters a lot. Once that is done, there is no looking back. As such, nothing should stop us from achieving our goals. and dreams. I must emphasize that this theme is very apt. As professionals in the construction industry, we carefully selected our sub-themes to be in tandem with our professional calling and challenges we face in the industry while discharging our duties. I have no doubt that our panelists will provide us with insights and ways of addressing these enormous challenges. We cannot give up, not now, not ever. We must challenge until we see changes and break the barriers that hold us from reaching our targets of gender equality. We must challenge together. We must progress, no matter the storm. Be rest assured, we will overcome. I have a dream that one day we will have 50-50 representation and participation in the construction industry. So let us choose to challenge. At this point, I want to thank the representative of the Minister for Women Affairs for finding time, despite her tight schedule, to grace this occasion. I want to also thank the President, National Executive Council members, and Board of Trustees of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. To the President, QSRBN, past President of the Institute, Fellows of the Institute, our life grant patron, WAQSN past chairpersons, I want to thank you all for the support and encouragement at all times. I wish to also thank and appreciate our panelists and our sponsors for making the seminar possible and remarkable. I wish to also thank the local organizing committee, led by the Deputy Chairperson, QS Priscilla Akabudike, for their time and effort in packaging this event. I want to use this medium to congratulate our recent heroines who made WAQSN proud. They are QS Professor Klomri Adogu, who became the first female professor of quantity surveying in the whole of the northern region of Nigeria. And QS Dr. Tina, aka FNIQS, MNIQS, who was selected by the Business Day Women's Hub as one of the 50 inspiring Nigerian women. We are really progressing and waxing stronger. Finally, I wish us all a fruitful deliberation, journey mercies back to our respective destination. Happy International Women's Day Celebration 2021. Long live Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria. Long live Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. God bless our country, Nigeria. Thank you.
Please, can we give her a louder round of applause for such an inspiring speech?
Invite to the podium the President of Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, QS Mohammed Abator, for his opening speech. It's a round of applause for him. It's not easy to be the CEO of Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. Please, a round of applause.
Ably represented here by one of us, the chair lady of WAQSN, members of the National Executive Council here present, fellows of the Institute, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the National Executive Council of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, I welcome you warmly to this seminar organized to celebrate the International Women's Day 2021. I especially wish to welcome the special guest of honor, Her Excellency the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Senator Pauline Tallinn, ably represented here, the guest of honor, our own mother, Dr. Mrs. Naraba Gloria, then my professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. WAQSN is a critical organ of NIQS committed to growth and development of the profession. WAQSN is the only national body of the institute constitutionally recognized to receive a permanent seat in the National Executive Council. This recognition comes with a lot of expectations from the institute and members alike. So what you are stating today is not a surprise at all because it's expected of you. WAQSN was noticed over the years to have been engaged in topical and highly impactful programs. This is one of such. I feel deeply honored to be invited here today. I would like to express my gratitude to the chairperson, WAQSN, for the opportunity, and I must thank you all here present for being part of this very important event. The International Women's Day is a global holiday celebrated annually on March 8 to commemorate the cultural, political, and socio-economic achievement of women. It is a time when women from all walks of life all over the world are celebrated for their many contributions to humanity. It is also a time when the need for gender parity is further canvassed for, and the chasm which still exists in the world as a result of gender inequality is highlighted and brought to the front burner. Gender equality quotient, being one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, is a humanity quotient. In our practice as quantity surveyors, and indeed my role as the president of NIQS, I've come across several extraordinary women who have and continue to shatter glass ceilings, not just in the built environment, but in the society generally. Undoubtedly, the NIQS would not be where it is today without the contribution of amazing women who have broken stereotypes by showing exceptional leadership and excellence in their fields of endeavor. The theme of today's event, thus Choose to Challenge, is not only relevant to women, but quantity surveys and humanity generally. So much still needs to be done, however, to challenge the stereotypes and discrimination against women which still exist. It is in the light of this that I wish to reaffirm the NIQS commitment towards ensuring that more women quantity surveyors are supported. The NIQS will continue to provide an enabling environment for all its female members to thrive and grow sustainably. NIQS is evidently gender-friendly. We are committed to amplifying the voices of women by promoting a more inclusive leadership and representation in the Institute. So many women were encouraged to take part in leadership of the Institute, and all served with distinction. Our invited guests might be interested to know that QS Mrs. Messi Tioche, PPM NIQS, did excellently well during her tenure as the first female president of the Institute. I also want to encourage you to continue to strive to take the NIQS to greater heights. We must do things differently. Take this as a rallying cry for all women to take advantage of and fully harness the power and potential vested in you and help grow the Institute even further. Let me at this juncture thank you all for your profound accomplishments which you have achieved through sheer dedication, commitment, and hard work. You continue to make the QS profession proud, and we appreciate you for this fact. I once again I once again thank our special guest of honor, and resource persons carefully selected to do justice to the various sub-themes, and others who are present for finding time out of their very busy schedule to grace this occasion. And it is my belief that you will now be fully satisfied after going through the technical sessions of what we have today, because the resource persons are perhaps the best in the batch, and they can even run this country very, very well if given the opportunity. Thank you so very much. God bless you all. God bless the family. Thank you.
Round of applause for him, please. Thank you, Mr. President, for that great speech. We are indeed honored. You recognized us as one of the critical organizations.
Invite the members of NEC that are with us here to join the president of the Institute on the high table. The Secretary General, QS Dr. Bashir, the Treasurer, QS Osaruddin, FNI QS, and QS Aderoji Oyelami. I have received express orders to move you.
I will join the table.
Okay, thanks so much. Next, we will invite the special guest of honor, not until I have said one or two things about that woman that has just walked out, that did us the honor of coming to be part of us, then Paul in Thailand. The theme for the International Women's Day celebration, Choose to Challenge, aptly described the life and times of Dame Paul in Thailand. Because this is a woman that has dared all odds and participated in the murky waters of the Nigerian political terrain. And it will interest you that she has scored so many firsts. As far back as 1994, she was elected as a councillor in her local government. And when, in 1999, General Obasanjo was elected, he appointed her to be the Minister of State Science and Technology. And she was placed strategically to lead the Nigerian response to what was then used called the Y2K. That is this fear that all the digital equipments in the world were going to crash because there were no program to recognize the tool. It was 19-something, so she was at the head of that campaign, and successfully. Not a single case of digital misfunction in Nigeria because of the marvelous work she did. And in 2007, she was elected to be the deputy governor in Plateau State, being the first northern woman to become the deputy governor in the whole of the northern Nigeria. She was later to contest on the platform of Labour Party for the gubernatorial position of Plateau State, where she put in a gallant effort, but she couldn't meet. And today, after being the chairman of the board of the Raw Materials Development Council of Nigeria, she is the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development. Can we put our hands together for Dame Paul in Thailand, who is ably represented by Builder Asma'u Zubairu to present her speech. Thank you.
Good morning, dear colleagues. The chair, the president, QS Mohammed Abator, the chairperson QS Aisha Muhammad, and permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Good morning, all. Before I start, I want to acknowledge the great speech by the president of the NIQS. In the Ministry of Women Affairs, we will call him a he for she advocate. I am truly honored to stand before you as a female professional to present the speech of the Honorable Minister, Dame Paul in Thailand. who is unavoidably, who could not stay here, you understand, to see the conclusion of this event. We all know the challenges we face as women in the workplace and how we have to work twice as hard as our male counterparts to prove our potentials. It is in that light I am honored to read the speech of the Honorable Minister Dame Pauline Talon. She says, "It is my honor to address this gathering of honorable professional women in the field of quantity surveying on the occasion of the commemoration of the 2021 International Women's Day. The theme for this year's celebration is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in the COVID-19 World. This theme aligns with the 2021 International Women's Day campaign, hashtag for civil societies, being harsh, choose to challenge, where women seek to call out gender bias, discrimination, and stereotypes. By way of introduction, there has been an alteration in the world of work by massive entry of women into paid employment as a result of their struggle to achieve economic equality, develop new social roles, and renegotiate the relationship between paid and unpaid work. The large entry of women into the workplace in Nigeria has made obsolete the breadwinner model, giving rise to a new model of dual career and single parent households. Bias is prevalent in every aspect of our life. Our brains are hardwired to categorize things we encounter in order to make sense of the complicated world around us. However, biases can cause us to form prejudice against others, which allow for inequalities to form between different people. While bias comes in many forms, this paper focuses on gender bias and its challenges in the workplace. There are ways to reduce gender bias and ultimately build a more diverse and inclusive workplace, but it should be noted that there is a spectrum of gender identities. When it comes down to this, gender bias can happen at all stages of recruiting, hiring, and retaining employees, with many recruiting strategies being biased. Job descriptions containing gender bias and interview questions being gender-based, amongst others. Also, despite the labor force participation rates gradually closing up and some improvements gained in the educational and professional attainment of Nigerian women, there are obstacles confronting women in the workplace as women's educational and professional attainment is yet to translate into significant improvement with respect to decision-making, power for women, and government creating an enabling, working, friendly environment for women. Let me single out quantity surveying among several others and acquaint you with the fact that surveyors are part of the team of professionals who help build the nation. Women have gone to the extra mile in breaking the jinx of not being able to access the male-dominated profession visibly shown by your association. But achieving this feat is still not an easy task, as discrimination still persists in the workplace, which centers around unfair treatment because of ethnic, religion, religious affiliations, sex, including pregnancy, gender identity, and disability and age. Evidence has shown that many women in high-level positions believe that social exclusion, not just overt discrimination, is a barrier to women's career advancement, and WAQSN are not excluded. Research has also shown that the ways men and women are treated differently in the workplace can be nearly imperceptible at the level of the individual and emerge only when aggregated across individuals. Also, It has been argued that gender discrimination is difficult to perceive because it accounts for a little portion of variance in organizational decision making. But this does not mean that discrimination does not have significant consequences for working women. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that the male dominance in technical and administrative positions in Nigerian professional bodies, especially quantity surveyors, is not in doubt, and this of course has given men the upper hand in taking decisions on issues concerning women. The effect of this is that low number of women in the highest echelon of surveying inevitably means fewer role models for future female leaders in the technical and administrative structure of quantity surveying in Nigeria. The more prominent women are in the association, the better for increased women participation in the technical and administrative aspect of quantity surveying. Women prominence in the professional arena, especially in quantity survey arena, will in no time help to safeguard the women quantity surveyors or professionals, abate sexual harassment and other vices against women in quantity surveying. This will also ensure women participation in decision making on matters relating to women professionals. While congratulating you for another year of great achievement in the quantity surveying field, I admonish you to remain resilient in your resolve to be the best in your chosen field of endeavor. Never allow yourselves to be intimidated nor discriminated against, but hold your heads high and break every seeming limitations associated with the female professional. The ministry, on its part, will continue to support women's efforts, well-being, and progress to ensure their maximum contribution to the national development. I commend you all as well as celebrate the 2021 International Women's Day. Thank you all for your attention.
Honorable Minister for Women Affairs and Social Development, ably represented and read by Builder Asma Uzberu. Can we put our hands together for such a very insightful and very inspiring speech? Thank you, Honorable Minister.
The Chairperson WAQSN, the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, the Chief Host, and the President of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. May I please crave your indulgence? We missed out some important personalities that we didn't recognize. We would like to recognize the first female professor in quantity surveying in the whole of the northern region, in the person of Professor Plumri Adogo. A round of applause for her.
Marks the end of the opening ceremony formalities. And as has been described by the chief host, the president of NIQS, that this year's celebration is not just about celebration, but it's also a seminar presentation. We have 4 well thought out, very insightful topics for presentation by professionals and experts in the chosen topics. So with the permission of the chief host and the chairman, can we transit into the technical sessions proper as we take the first paper presentation, which I understand is going to be presented virtually. But before we do that, let's just take a very, very brief citation of the speaker who has been described and is the first professor of quantity surveying in the whole of a female professor of quantity surveying in Nigeria, in person of Professor Olubola. She's not yet ready?
Yes, is she ready? If she's not, then I'll take.
Who is, She's not ready? So we think another speaker, and let me invite Whitney to introduce the next speaker. Whitney.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished members of the high table and all the personalities present. I'll be reading the personal profile of our very own. I'm indeed delighted to read it. In the person of Professor Kulomri Jipato Adobo. She actually chose to do what? To challenge. She did. Especially in an environment where it's male-dominated. She did what? She proved herself. Professor Kulomri Jipato Adobo is a professor in the Department of Quantity Surveying, Ahmadu Bello University, ABU, Zaria, Nigeria. She holds a BSc honors in quantity surveying, a master's degree in construction management, and a PhD in quantity surveying. She's a member of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, MNIQS, a registered quantity surveyor, RQS, and an active member of the WAQSN, Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria. Professor Adobo has authored and also co-authored over 60 articles. She's graduated 7 PhD holders and over 30 MSc holders in the Department of Quantity Surveying, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. She also served as the head of department, Quantity Surveying, ABU, Zaria. And she's currently the Deputy Center Leader, Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards Center of Excellence in the university. Professor Adobo has a very keen research interest in gender studies, specifically women in construction, both as academics and professionals in the industry. Her interests also extend to the substance of the environment, more gradually through studies relating to the use of of the environment. I'm sorry, please. I need of local resources in construction, legal aspects of construction and procurement. She has served on several committees of NIQS, QRSLBN and WAQSN, and has also rendered professional services to the university and a member of private entities. Professor Adobo is experienced in teaching and research in the Department of Quantity Surveying. When students are trained particularly in the conceptualization and delivery of infrastructure projects requiring knowledge of procurement, management, and law. She's married and her hobbies include, reading, cooking, and learning to listening to music. I'm very sorry. Please pardon me. Thank you so much. You're welcome back. I'm sorry I messed up. Please don't be offended.
Thank you very much for being with me. I'd like to start by recognizing the minister. It is an honor to be able to stand in your presence, and we were glad to have her in person here, represented by Yoga Asma'u Zubair. Thank you very much, our president, the he for she advocate. Yes, is very good with encouraging women. And over time, he has reached out to me on a personal level. And he has always told me, Madam, you must work in NIQS, you must serve in NIQS. There are things that you have to do. And it is good to have people like that. If you're able to rise in life, it is because you stand on the shoulders of giants. And he is our own giant here in the NIQS. Thank you very much. Thank you, the chairperson, QS Dr. Aminu Bashir, the Secretary General, and our CBN governor. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The topic I was given is building confidence to face challenges in the construction industry. And the first question I asked myself is, why would Madam Chairperson talk about confidence? Am I the most confident of female quantity surveyors that she could find? What really does it mean to be confident? As we celebrate the International Women's Day, for me, I choose to challenge women to grow. We cannot remain where we have always been. We have to push ourselves to move forward. This is my own personal challenge. I'm challenging myself and I'm challenging you. I don't know what area of life you need to grow in. We all have different things that we're working toward, or whatever it is. Don't be found here in 2022. We're in 2021 now. By March of 2022, where would you be? You need to grow. So by way of outline, I have 5 themes in the paper that I sent in, but I'll be focusing more on building confidence and strategies for success. You have to forgive me, because of my background in academia, we tend to talk very long, and because we're used to lecturing. So I can keep you here for 2 hours. Average lecture time is 2 hours. Madam Chairperson said, Madam, please don't talk for more than 30 minutes. So I'll try. When I get to, Madam, where's you go? Please, when I get to 30 minutes, you may need to give me a sign, or yes, so that I don't keep us too long. So we are living in difficult times at the moment. The environment is different. Workplace is different. The home front is different. You go into public transport, is different. You want to go into venues, go into market, now you're told to wash your hands, sanitize, put on face masks because of the pandemic. It has greatly altered our lifestyles. And particularly as women, you will agree with me that women are the primary caregivers in their homes. And so because of the lockdown, we had responsibility of taking care of our children at home. Some of us had ailing, older family members to take care of. And when we were asked to go back to work, the questions were raised as to women's ability to be able to continue to work. You go into the office, what are the risks that are out there? What if you contract the virus? Would you take it back home to your children and to your family members? You know, those questions were raised. The United Nations warned that the pandemic can reverse decades of progress that has been made toward gender equality in the workplace. What they said was, across every sphere, from the health to the economy, security to social protection, the impact of COVID-19 are exacerbated for women and girls simply by virtue of their sex. So how do you succeed? How do you develop your career? This is one challenge that has faced us, and it is still facing us. This is the climate that we have found ourselves to be working in. And they tell us it's not going to go away anytime soon. And this challenge is on top of the one that we already are aware of. The Nigerian construction industry is predominantly male. It's a competitive environment, conflict prone, of course associated with inclement weather, bad language. Women suffer both overt and covert discrimination. There are issues to do with lack of information. There are issues to do with family commitments and how do you balance family and work. And sometimes for some people, perhaps the challenge is the lack of role models and career advice. So for family, do you focus on family at the expense of your career, or do you focus on your career at the expense of your family? The advice at the end of the day is to find a balance. But for me, I've learned that the ability to balance work and family comes with time. and with experience. And sometimes we make mistakes along the way, but we learn from them. It's usually good when we have people ahead that we can learn from. But balancing work and family is possible. It's just that it takes a lot of sacrifice. There are societal and cultural issues to face in the industry and in the society at large. In the industry, you will find yourself sometimes in situations where you'll have to give instructions to men. And not every man is always open to taking instruction from a woman. And sometimes issues to do with dressing, as simple as it may sound, because there is a presumption that if you're a married woman, particularly if you're from the far north, there's an expectation about how you should appear. You cannot go to site and be expected to climb heights wearing some styles of dresses. It will be inappropriate, it will be too risky to your health and so on. These are cultural issues. There are also attitudinal issues from employers. Employers look at us and they think, oh, she's a woman, she's tough, let's take care of her, let's protect her. So just give her some papers and a laptop and let her just sit in the office. Yes, they're trying to protect us, but ultimately they will also stifle us and not give us the opportunity to grow. To an extent, I don't blame some employers because they gave some other women some opportunities and the women did not take full advantage of it. It is still a challenge that is existing. There are personal religious practices that sometimes may affect our work, particularly in the areas of dressing, I talked about it a bit. In the area of morality, sometimes there are compromises that come with working in the industry. And role models. We now, thank God, we're having more women in high positions and more women that we can look up to, but there was a time that there were very few and far in between. Even now, people are still, struggling to have role models or mentors in the industry. So these challenges exist. So in order to be able to make a success of it, we need to build confidence. And one thing I want to say is that building confidence is not a destination. It doesn't stop. It's a journey. It's an ongoing process. So how do you build the confidence? Sorry, it's not advancing. Still not advancing. Okay? Women's Day celebration, that the most important thing a woman wears is her confidence. That's one of the most important things that you can carry. So being confident, it's a feeling, it's a belief that you can have faith in or rely on someone or something. I have confidence in a person, I have confidence in his ability. The quality of being certain of your own ability and of having trust in people to be able to deliver and to do what you expect them to do. So to be self-confident is to trust in our own abilities and believe that we can do what we set our minds to do. So 3 things. 1 is believing in yourself, feeling comfortable with who you are, and recognizing that you have worth. You believe in yourself, you're comfortable with who you are, and you recognize that you have worth. There are some signs that indicate a person is confident and self-assured, a few of them listed here. People who are self-confident do what is right, do what they believe is right, even if it is unpopular, or even if they are mocked or criticized for it. People who are confident are willing to take risks and go the extra mile. When they make a mistake, they can admit that I was wrong. You see, if you're not able to admit your mistakes, it's an indication of low self-esteem and lack of confidence in yourself. It's actually a strength in a person to be able to say, oh, I was wrong and I'm sorry about it. So confident people usually would wait for others to congratulate them rather than brag about what they have or what they think that they have achieved. Confident people are usually optimistic and they usually see the glass as half full, not half empty. They look at the positive side of things. Confident people would normally accept compliments with grace and gratitude. For a lot of us women, this is a problem because somebody tells you, oh, you look good, and you're like, oh, this piece of rag, If somebody tells you look good, just simply say thank you and leave it at that. We don't have to make excuses or try to find reasons to downplay ourselves. So not everybody is born with an inbuilt sense of confidence. Some people seem naturally confident. Some will look at me now and think, oh, she's so confident. I wish you knew. But one thing to say is that self-confidence can be developed. We may lack confidence at work, we may lack confidence in public speaking or meeting with new people. We may not be sure how to address people that we're seeing for the first time. Imagine we'll be going for tea break in a few minutes. What would happen if the president were to come and sit at your table and want to discuss with you? Would you be confident enough to say, oh, hello, Mr. President, my name is... Or would you want to pray that the ground will open and you will go in there? Our confidence level. And when we're able to boost our confidence level, we under stress a lot. And confidence, we're able to influence people better. We have better leadership skills. We're more positive in our attitude. On the inside, it will naturally, portray a person who has it all together. You have increased energy and motivation and greater levels of happiness. So if we want all of this benefit, we get them by building our confidence. So exactly how do we do it? I have a few things I want to share with us. I had to read up on it from the internet and from some other sources. There are some small changes that you can make. Some of them you will have to work on with time. So I have a list of 12 items. Not all of them may apply to you as an individual, but whichever one that you can learn from and pick from, I would recommend that you do. First tip is to look at what you have already achieved. You see, when you are able to look back and see that you have, maybe you have a list of items, 1, 2, 3 to 5, and you've been able to achieve 1. You make good progress, you achieve 2, you achieve 3. It builds up your confidence. It boosts up your confidence when you can look back and see the successes that you have achieved. You can usually lose confidence if you feel that you don't have anything, you've not achieved anything. So think back. You've earned your degree. You've probably gotten a master's. You've written 1 or 2 papers. You've been able to master the skill of driving. You've been able to master the skill of typing. Personally, I decided to go back and learn how to play the keyboard during the lockdown. I needed something outside of academics, and sometimes we get tired of reading as much as it's what we do. So find something and achieve, find some goals, achieve them, and as you achieve them, you look back and you're happy with yourself that yes, I've been able to do this. The way to develop confidence is to do the things sometimes you even fear. And as you record successful experiences behind you, your confidence will continue to grow. Closely related to that is to do a personal inventory. And what that means is take a record of your strengths and your weaknesses. And as much as possible, capitalize on your strengths. For your weaknesses, try to see if there is a way you can improve. One of the things for me as a lecturer, because of my interactions with students, I was told that I always talk too fast. So students struggle to follow along with me. So I had to be deliberate about it. I've been lecturing for 14 years now. So this is the outcome of, I'm sure if you met me 14 years ago, it would not have been the same story, but I've had to learn to address that weakness. So pay attention to your strengths and capitalize on them as much as possible. Again, closely related to that, if you can, take a personality test. And what this will do is it will help you to get to know yourself. A lot of times we make very false assumptions about ourselves. We think we know ourselves. But when you do some of these tests are available online. It will help you to develop self-awareness so that you know what you need to focus on. The more you understand who you are, the more you know what you want in life, the better you will feel about yourselves. There's a website at the bottom, 16personalities.com. I took a test in preparation for this workshop. This was the result of one. There were several tests that I took. So they said, this is what they said. So I agree with most of it. That as far as my traits go, I'm 73% introverted, 54% observant, 93% in judging. I'm not sure what that meant. I didn't go back to read it. And that my role in life, I'm constantly behaving like a sentinel, a watchguard. And my strategy toward life is constant improvement. Now, according to them, my personality type, that I prefer to study in a quiet environment. That is absolutely true. When I saw that, I said, wow, so there's some merit in that test. According to the test, I hide my anger. I'm still thinking about that part. They say I prefer texting to calling. This is very, very true about me. I see beauty in simplicity, and I have little interest in going into politics. Now, the president may not like to hear that part, but that's the results. That is what it says about me. Now, what this does is it helps you to look at some aspects of your life where you have strengths and where you have weakness, and you know how to address those weaknesses. And when you get the results, you don't have to beat yourself over it. Just take it with a pinch of salt. The next tip here I have is to think about your goals and your values in life and create a vision. If you don't know where you're going to, then any destination becomes your final point in time. Do you go to a motor park and you have vehicles, you just jump into any one of them? No. You want to know before you get there, where do I want to go to? So if I want to go back to Zaria and I go enter a vehicle going to Lokoja, I will not get to my destination. Perhaps maybe in a roundabout way I could, but you have to have goals, you have to have a clear vision for yourself and review your goals regularly. And as you have goals and as you achieve those goals, it will help you to develop your confidence. And those goals may not necessarily be big goals. It could be as simple as learning to drive. I don't know how many people drive here, but you know the first time you tried to learn, you got behind the wheels. Did you just start the car and then you just moved onto the expressway? No. More often than not, it took a little while. You know, you see, women are culprits. When you hold the steering, you hold it, you grip the steering literally, and you are tilting forward like you want to go into the windscreen. Our seats are usually pushed all the way. The backrest. The seats, we push it all the way to the front. Our legs must just be on the on the brakes and the accelerator. The way we see, when you see Lena with capital letter L and the way they drive, you can literally, know that. But with time, you do that 1 month, 2 months. I've been driving for, I started driving 2010, I think. I started learning before then, but the real driving I started in 2010. Now I drive, I'm not even conscious of it. There are things you do without thinking. It's automatic. Why are you able to do that? Because you achieved a goal and you have become proficient in that area. Now, I cannot fly a plane. But maybe I can set that as a goal for myself. I cannot fly a helicopter. So I have zero confidence as far as flying helicopters are concerned. But drive a car, no problem. The only thing is, there are some models of cars, when you want to drive them, you pray all manners of prayers because they must not be scratched on them. I'm sure, Mr. President, if you give me your car to drive, I'll be very careful in driving. I'm a very good driver. I'm very confident too. So, Sally, it's looking again. Sorry about the distraction. Yes, the fifth goal I hope, Whitney, you're keeping track of my time. Practice affirmation, talk yourself up. Please, by all means necessary, whatever you need to do, stop the negative talk. I'm not good enough. I'm very shy, this and that. Don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of achieving your goals. You're never going to feel confident if you have a negative commentary running through your mind all the time. Think about what you're saying and speak positive words to yourself. Practice affirmation. These are a few that I tell myself. I am smart, competent, and capable. I am growing and changing for the better. I believe in myself and my abilities. I can do anything I set my mind to do. I act with confidence and with a plan. I accept that plans can change. It is enough that I have done my best. I have the power to change myself. There are things you can say to yourself. It doesn't have to be, every minute of every day, but at least once a day. Say something nice. If nobody gives you a compliment, please give yourself a compliment. If you've been able to effectively go to a site meeting and you had a successful meeting, when you come back, give yourself a pat on the back and say, oh, well done, you did well today. If nobody tells you you did well, tell yourself. And if you made a mistake, Confidence demands that you tell yourself, I made a mistake here and I should be able to improve better in future. I tell myself, on a personal level now, this is for my professional work, on a personal level I tell myself, I am patient, I am kind, I'm not proud, I'm not rude, I'm not self-seeking, I am not easily angered, I do not keep record of wrongs. There are things you say to yourself. You see, the more you practice affirmation, the more confident you become. And you can't do it and just stop after one day. Make a habit of it. Get a hobby. Find something that you're passionate about and do it. One of the things hobbies do is that they make you feel good about yourself because you're able to be good at something. Knitting, it could be sports, whatever it is, work at it. Because when you show passion in one area of your life, it gives you that confidence and that encouragement to transfer similar passions to your professional life. Take care of your physical fitness. You cannot be confident in life when you're dragging yourself through life. You can't do anything about your height, you can't do anything about your face or your skin color, but you can do something about your physical health. So even if it means doing a little bit of exercise, it will help you to build your confidence. Because you are your number one asset. And when you take care of yourself and prioritize your health, you ultimately help yourself to grow more confident. Improve your style. We've heard it said, you are addressed the way you dress, and you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So if you want people to take you seriously, well, and you have to be intentional and wear outfits that communicate the right message. This is a workshop, this is a professional gathering. You have to think about what you need to wear in such gatherings. Because when you dress well, it has a way of influencing your courage and the way you appear to people. And really, people will address you and such. Pretend that you're already successful and confident. You've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it? Yeah, it holds true. Yes, you fake it until you make it. And I'm not talking about going to take a bank loan to buy big cars and build a big house so that people think you're successful. No. This is about our body language. I listened to a TED talk about it, and I found out that from listening to talks, it's actually true. Think about it. If a sad person were to, sit up straight and force himself to smile, what would happen? After a while, he actually begins to feel better about himself. If you're happy, on the other hand, and you suddenly begin to frown and you slouch, it will affect your bearing. According to research, our minds and our bodies are interconnected. When you change one, it will affect the other. So when you adopt the body language of somebody who is confident, you will change how you feel, and it will automatically translate to other people seeing you as actually being confident. So when you make effort to appear confident, people will actually treat you like you are confident. So if you fake confidence long enough, you're going to be confident with time. It's a habit, and it can be developed by acting as if you already have it. So that's what I mean by fake it till you make it. Learn how to interact with people. Social confidence is something that doesn't come naturally with a lot of people, but you have to learn it. Yes, we've developed our technical skills in gaining some education. We develop technical skills when we go for work, when we go for site meetings and workshops, but social confidence is also important. And that is why we have breaks in between meetings and workshops. It's not just to eat the food, but it's an opportunity to develop social confidence and to mingle with people that you've never met before. So you can read about it and listen to podcasts and watch videos around the topic. Social confidence is a skill that is very important. Learning how to talk to people, how to introduce yourself to people. I mean, if I had an opportunity today to sit with the Minister of Women Affairs, what will I speak to her about? She will not want to hear, my idea of the latest fashions. That is not it's not even anywhere on the radar of agenda for her. If I was given an opportunity today to sit with the President of Nigeria, what would I want to discuss with him? And that was probably your priority. But I will want to talk to him about the educational sector of Nigeria. I mean, there are better things we can do. Secondly, I want to talk to him about the road to my village. The 11th one I have, connect with ambitious individuals. Connect with ambitious individuals. And being here, the fact that you are here, you're actually fulfilling this. You're connecting with people because your environment and your relationships, they shape who you are. When you have supportive relationships, it will help you to become the person that you've always wanted to be. It is said that you become the average of the people you spend the most time with. So my question to you is, who are you spending your time with? If I were to take an average of your friends, what would you become in the next 5 years and in the next 10 years? Because when you hang around people, you are likely to emulate them. If you spend time with people, you are likely to emulate how they talk, how they carry out their responsibilities. So ensure that the connections you have in your life, they are meaningful ones. You see, when you have somebody who has achieved something, try to connect with those kinds of people because they will show you the way to that goal that you've been able to achieve. Never stop learning. Whatever you do, don't ever stop learning. For me, I'm in academia. The government has already given me timeline. Whether I like, I don't like, a time will come, the government will tell you, okay, thank you for your services, you're no longer required. Your services are no longer required in the university, and I'm gone. You retire.
70 years?
Yes, it will come. A time will come that I will have to retire from the university. So do I stop being a quantity surveyor because I retired from the university? Or do I wait until then? So what I'm learning in the university, the skills I'm developing, the networks I'm building, is an opportunity for me to plan for my future. And in planning for my future takes me to the 10th point, to become a free agent. A time will come I'm going to leave ABU. So it may not, I don't even plan to wait till I'm 70. When I'm 70, that's when I want to be, going to Dubai, going to Singapore, just be traveling around. Okay, so become a free agent, work for yourself. Salary, if you're a salary earner, and you don't have any plans beyond salary, you are a disaster waiting to happen. As harsh as that may sound. You cannot plan the entirety of your life on salary alone. And I'm talking to myself. We had a discussion with some colleagues this morning about, stepping out on your own and becoming independent. Think about it. And entrepreneurship, it doesn't mean go and start a QS firm. You could go and start a poultry, or start a catering outfit, or whatever it is. Think ahead. Think 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ahead. Madam Salisu, please can you advance this slide? I think we're almost through.
He's one of the new generation professors. Why did I say so? I remember back in the days when I was in school, who is about to graduate with a pass. He doesn't know your department, but he knows you.
Happened to be one of the first to serve in the Kano State Executive Council in the 1980s. And like I said, she was Director General of the National Commission for Women in 1992. She also was the special envoy to the African Union and also the head of delegation to the United Nations Commission on Status of Women in Vienna, Austria, all within the period of 1992 to 1994. Like I've said, when we returned to democracy in 1999, the then President Olusegun Obasanjo also appointed her as the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development. She was also at the 2014 National Conference, and she's a proud recipient of the National Honors of Member of the Order of Niger, MON. At this juncture, I have been told that she might not likely be here with us throughout. We will invite her for our keynote address, while we urge participants to also note your questions from the presentations that have been made so that we can take them much later. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Hajia Aishatu Ismail for her keynote. Okay. Just been told that she should also.
Here. I will try to say something, and I hope I will be relevant. I congratulate the ESCO of the female part of the quantity surveying of this country. I would like to say that irrespective of all the problems, the mishaps, and everything that we're suffering as a nation, we're also moving ahead because women are becoming professionals and also owning the professional bodies. There was a time when it was so difficult to find a woman architect, a woman quantity surveyor, a woman in the hard skill side of our life. Very, very difficult. And now we have so many. We have professors in these fields, in engineering, we had been occupying doctor position and lawyers and so on. But recently we have been occupying the technical side, which is really a very welcome situation for us. I came late. I don't know what you've been discussing, but I look at your title, is Building Confidence. And I think right now Nigerians need a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence to carry them through what they are going through. And to build that, we need to start not only having confidence in ourselves. I like the professor's position, we need to build ourselves first. But we also, I think, have to give the nation confidence as well. I have never seen a situation where a nation that has so much in terms of resources, too much actually, yet we are right down on our knees with I think the most inferior thinking of ourselves. We forget the material resource that we have. We have been unable to exploit and also to use it for ourselves. We have just too much, and I think that is what has made us so weak. But imagine the human resource that Nigeria has. There isn't a country that is so blessed with such spirit of humanity, spirit of people, strong personality, strong people who can bear anything. No matter the hardship you heap on Nigerians, they will carry it out, and they also have the grace to smile, to walk around, to jog, to party, to do weddings. You understand? Irrespective of all the problems. You wake up and you hear the news, 200 people dead in one society. Yet we carry on. Then the latest craze, they take our children away. I mean, that is something that should give us, we should live beyond nightmares now. Take our children, as hostages. And yet we still have this capacity to move on, to smile, to eat, to even go to weddings. I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago. I've been on quarantine actually, but I'm safe. And everybody was just doing the wedding thing as if, all the tragedies happening around us are not there. So I want to say something about our lives. I think it's high time Nigerians start thinking seriously. This is a concept we have never looked at. We keep doing everything. We try development endeavors. We try, societal progress. We try everything. But I think, where we have really failed ourselves is in thinking. Remember, earlier times, most societies were dependent on power, the physical side. You wage wars, you take hostages, you get wealth by actually using physical power. Now, after some times, they realize you can create more wealth by innovations. And then the industries came and we were innovating to serve our needs and so on and so forth. All these, I think we left ourselves somewhere. And then the world exploded when it started what is called 20th century thinking. And that is when internet came, computers came, globalization came. And people, the distance between people narrowed and narrowed, yet Nigerians, we stopped thinking. We've not even picked up the word thinking. Everything is physical. When our leaders come to vie for positions, when they want to persuade us to take, to accept them, all they tell us is, we will build roads for you, we will build hospitals, we will build, and this journey has taken us over 50 years and we have not arrived. It's every day, they will give us some physical structure. And yet, when Nigerians leave this part of the world, they go somewhere, they become great thinkers, they great philosophers, they solve other societies' problems. Imagine a Nigerian saved NASA on their space exploration, that it became safe. For them now to think they will make it a commercial kind of activity rather than scientific endeavor. A Nigerian saved, the health something, somewhere. I saw a young boy of not more than 23 from Nigeria doing something so great outside. But here, we don't think. And the world has moved beyond even 20th century thinking now. The world has gone strategic thinking. You don't think just, like this, okay, I have one problem, I will solve it today, or one problem, one solution. No. You take a solution to attack hundreds of problems. And you can do it, and the power of Nigeria's brain is incredible. Yet, it's all misguided, towards other things. Why do you think we became the lords of criminality in the world? It's because of the brain power. We hack everything. Everything in this world, we can make it. Everything the developed countries put, we can make it. Yet, we don't put it in practice here. So I pray that by women professionalizing, I'm sorry, men, you have really taken us on a long destructive journey. You have failed. It's true. The leadership in Nigeria, 99.9% of it since our independence has been men. And they have failed us. So, if the women are becoming more professionalized, can you please professionalize leadership? Would you please come up and save this nation by using your brain power? Going past 20th century thinking and becoming strategic thinkers for Nigeria. Thank you very much for listening to
Such a thought-provoking, almost delivered off heart, unprepared. Please, can you give her another round of applause? Thank you so much. While she was having her speech, we also witnessed the arrival of the president of the Quantity Survey Registration Board of Nigeria and the past president of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and president of Mala Murtala Aliu, the Motowa Lingojo. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, I've just been told that he also doubles as WAQSN patron. Well, let me change the nomenclature. WAQSN Metro. Thank you so much. So I hope you are not part of the past leaders that have failed Nigerians that you have been asked to be. Thank you so much. He's accompanied by his secretariat, let me recognize in our midst the registrar of the Conserving Registration Board of Nigeria, QS Abdullah Al-Kali, FNIPS.
For the speaker that just presented. Any questions? You don't want to ask more questions on how to build the confidence? Questions, please. But before we do that, we'll read out her personal profile.
She's presented virtually.
Yes, she's actually presenting virtually.
Okay, I think while the Secretariat and the technical persons are getting ready to connect her to this conference, it's very, very important that we speak a word or two about this accomplished professional, trailblazer, and a distinguished professional. Professor Olubola Babalola obtained a Bachelor of Science honors in quantity surveying, Master of Science in quantity surveying, and Doctor of Philosophy, specializing in construction management at the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, all between 1987 and 2006. After graduation, she was offered employment at the Department of Quantity Surveying of the same university as a graduate assistant in 1993. So it is a record that all these feats, becoming a professor, was achieved between 1993 to 2012, a period of 19 years. During her study and career life, Professor Babalola has some unique records that place her above her contemporaries. One, she was the only female student in her set and with the best graduation results. The first female quantity surveyor with a doctoral degree in West Africa. The first female to become the acting head of the department of the quantity surveying department at Obafemi Awolowo University. A 2 times vice dean of the Faculty of Environmental Design and Management. The first female professor of quantity surveying in Africa. She's currently the dean of the Faculty of Environmental Design and Management of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, being the first female dean and the first from quantity surveying department. She's also the chairperson committee of deans at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, being the first female to occupy that position. Before her present position, Professor Babalola has been the first male chairperson of NIQS, or Oyo State Chapter, Assistant Secretary General, Association of Association of Professional Bodies, Oyo State, and Chairperson WAQSN, editor of the Quantity Surveyor Journal of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and a member of Education and Research Committee, and others. She has also been an external examiner in various higher institutions in and outside Nigeria, such as FUT Akure, Imo State University, University of Lagos, Federal University of Technology, Mina, Federal Polytechnic Ede, the Polytechnic Ibadan, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana, Nelson Mandela University, South Africa, and the Open University in Malaysia, and the University of Nairobi, Kenya. We could go on and on and on and on. I also remember that in the last, when this present ISCO were inaugurated last year, she delivered a paper at the annual general meeting in Mina. She also delivered a paper, and yet again, today she's delivering another paper. That speaks to her acumen, her intellectual capacity, and robustness. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's present to you the first female professor of quantity surveying in Africa, Professor Olubola Babalola, for her presentation. Thank you so much. Presentation virtual has been sent to all the invited guests, and for those who want to follow virtually, they can use the link to follow the presentation. The technical team, is the professor ready?
Yeah, almost.
Okay. So while we await the technical team to do that, you can also access the link from your mobile devices so that you can. But for some of you that are already here physically, that is just a second option, because you have the option of listening to it live from this. Thank you so much.
This is some rural places, in some villages. Then in school, when you are in the midst of to participate, the girls though at times we are shy. These are challenges even at school. Then in our career path as we are developing, we don't have that. We have even less than 20% in Nigeria. All over, professionals, politicians, it's not in leadership position. And this is showing us like 22 countries where we have had women. Some of them are appointed. We have in Argentina, in Brazil, all 15. So this time, we have no other 95 countries in the world. Next slide, please. We have our own Google role model for us to follow. So I'm talking to the younger ones among us. Before that, I mentioned it before that these things are changing. Then our family structure and function, what we have to do, we are too combat with so many things to do in the house. We want to keep the house, we want to do this, we want to do that. So that will not make us develop, career-wise. Also, we have there's also sentiments that women are supposed to be at the background. Then psychosocial. So all workshops, we should also be able to attend workshops outside our profession. Like just ones that will teach us or that will talk about work family program, motivation, training, and continuing education. We also be able to guide younger ones. That is under mentorship. Now I mentioned two major things under the challenges. Let's go to the next slide. We need to be focused. You cannot just you socialize. Then you relax. When you are tired, please relax. You take enough sleep for you not to be stressed. Then you go on vacation. I mentioned it's not the time that you just walk. Then you go on vacation. You can travel out. And it's not the time that you stay at home. You can even eat out. Also, you need to give yourself medical attention. Please don't take anything for granted and don't take chance, to your health being getting distorted. Now for the theme of this International Women's Day, the theme is choose to challenge. And the key words, we have 5 keywords there. The first one is hand high. That is, we have to raise our hand high. It's not physically, that is, you are raising your hand physically. No, that is, you should be able to raise your hand to walk and do that which is meaningful. Then you should be able to challenge inequality. We are not saying, what we are even talking with fairness, equity. We are not saying, okay, even the United Nations says it should be 40. The United Nations says 50-50. So we are not competing with everybody. Then we should be allowed to give our best. So we should be able to challenge this inequality and we should be able to call out by heart. Those are the key words of this year's International Women's Day celebration. We should be able to question the stereotypes. We should be able to, to challenge the status quo. That is what we are experiencing now in the world. It's not acceptable, and we should do something about it. And we are talking about inclusive work. That is, we should be included, not just being included the way it is now, included meaningfully. And I think there's another slide where it is not there. That we should involve men. We should involve men in whatever we are doing because they are the ones, they are many in taking things. So we should keep on talking and we should involve them. And they even have the power to remove elephant from our rooms. That is the truth. So we cannot do without them. So we should continue to speak to them. We should continue to certify them and make them see the reason why they should allow us to perform. Thank you very much. I think that's the video I have for now. I will await your questions. Thank you for your listening attention.
Board of Nigeria for a short speech.
Nigeria Sub-Councillors, Malapato, the Secretary General, Chairperson WAQSN, and sorry, I skipped protocol. The Principal of the Minister first, and then our guest, Haji Aisha, who I take responsibility for coming late. Actually, I told her 11. I don't know why I didn't see the program, so I thought it was 11. And I'm sorry, I have to come even later than her because I lost somebody this morning, Imam Abdul from Anka. It's very close to me. So that disrupted my morning program anyway. So I'm really sorry for coming in late and also for the mix-up. As usual, I always associate the women wing of any profession, especially ours. I also align with most of the things that Haji Aisha said. That's what I captured. That the more we get up and think, I think the better for us. When development was around use of force, the men would always take advantage. But when development is now driven by the use of head, I think it's a free for all. So I think that it's our time as human beings. It's our time to encourage half of our collective to ensure that we have a strong development. When I was sitting next to Haji Aisha, she was saying that women should be encouraged to come into the construction industry, because when they do, they have more compassion, they bring up children, they understand societal and household problems, so their input will certainly be more meaningful than a male-driven construction industry. Not that I agree with her in that respect, but I think it's good to encourage women to really take over the construction industry. I want to sincerely appreciate WAQSN, and I'll share of my continuous support, and I can talk on behalf of the President of the NIQS of continuous support of the NIQS. And I will use the opportunity to thank the Honorable Minister, at least for caring to be part of us, either directly or through the petition. I also want to thank Hadia Aisha for honoring this workshop, this important workshop. And I also want to use the platform to congratulate our new professor, Glomley. Madam, congratulate you. And congratulate you all of WAQSN. Thank you very much.
Really appreciates you. And he's our patron too, WAQSN patron. Thank you, sir. You're always there when we call upon you. Thank you so much, sir. We do appreciate it. We'll be taking questions and answers after the next paper. That's after tea break. On a lighter note, the theme of this event is Choose to Challenge, right? It's building confidence. That are here can participate as well. And like I said, on a lighter note, don't forget, behind every successful woman is who? A supporting man. Let's give the men a round of applause. Behind every successful woman, there must be a man, a supporting one at that. Yes, like I said, on a lighter note, I had a colleague of mine who, her first day on a project site for supervision, she wore a skirt. And they were to inspect works going on upper floor, reinforcement and all that. She couldn't climb up the ladder. And her colleague was like, Madam, why don't you just go and rest? She said, okay, no problem. The following day, she challenged herself and she came out with her full regalia. She wore her PPE complete. And then she came and she was like, now I'm ready to take up my job. And she challenged herself and she became the best. Anytime they want to go for supervision, they always call on her because she gives the best judgment. So it depends on you. What do you choose? How do you want to achieve your dreams? You have to stay focused. You don't have to see the oppression. see the opportunity, like Prof said, in the oppression. Don't sit down and say men are taking over the jobs. You can come out and be the best if you want to be. Because we are bold, we are smart, we are intelligent, we're emotionally strong, I must say. Stronger than men. Please, with all due respect. We're emotionally very strong. So if we set our minds to achieving what we want to achieve, I believe the sky is not just the limit for us, it's the beginning for us. She's giving us well-noted female who have made it in life. The recent is the Okonjo Iweala, the Director for World Trade. She has made an impact in our system. Choose who you would want to be. Build self-confidence. Self-confidence is the key word. You have to be focused. You have to have confidence. You have to have a dream and a vision of who you want to be. And I believe that by the special grace of God, we will all achieve what we have set out to achieve. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as advised by the President, if you have questions, especially from the two previous presentations that have been taken by the two professors, can we get the questions so that they can answer it? And also, if there are further insights to be provided by members of the high table, we can get those insights before we now go for the tea break, which I understand is served on the first floor. That is where everyone is going for the tea break, but not until after we are done with the questions. Any questions, please?
Commend and appreciate the first and second speakers. They've done wonderfully well. But as I said earlier on, we are not surprised at all. I was just discussing with the Secretary General that those papers should be uploaded onto our own website, because men should also take advantage of those secrets. If we feel quite reluctant, then we may realize that the tables are filled up by ladies, so we have to really fight. It is a big fight now. So I wonder if they are holding those two papers. The technical arm of NIQ should really peep into it and then upload them onto the website. Having said that, I want to now welcome the President of the Board, my boss, my elder brother. But to you, Madam, you raise very vital issues. One, that what is really moving to the populace, we are now talking politics. What is moving to the populace is once if a politician goes to the village square telling them, I can build bridges, hospitals, schools, that's the selling point. Now, you came up with those brilliant ideas of trying to reorientate the mind, and which suggests that there is this saying which says, as a leader, or for being a leader, you have to be a leader. Today, it has demonstrated that you are a leader, because you are not only making references of your tenure of 1999 and so, but contemporary issues of today, looking at happenings in the intellectual world. These are the leaders that we want to continue. The leaders in the shoe of our own person, who always reads almost everything, psychology, philosophy, Chinese, Japanese, French. We couldn't catch up with him because he's always reading, and sometimes he reads big books. If he's reading those impressionable books, you might attempt to follow him, but he's reading very book, 500 pages book is what he will hold to be reading. These are leaders. But the challenge now is for those of us in project management. There is this definition of quality or service delivery, which says being product or service, that you can at best deliver what the customer needs. In fact, there is a definition of product and service by some of the frontline quality theories and authors, which states that quality simply means meeting customer expectation. Now, the customer of Nigerian populace are looking out To start with, is if stomach infrastructure first, what will they get? Then secondly, bridges and things that will now be moving. Okay, build bridges, build houses. Professor Colorado said she needs roads to her village. Look at that. Now, so we have challenge. All of us need roads to our villages. But what we are now propagating is to reorientate the mind. How do we start? That is the starting point. Will you lead us? We need a movement. Those revolutions we are talking about, this is the right revolution. Let us start, unless we tune the minds of the populace, will be abstract. If you are now talking, I'm talking, and all of us are talking, let us tune the mind so that progress and development is not only dwelled on roads and the physical we are seeing, but the discipline, the core values, the contemporaries, anti-corruption. Those are discipline, those are the drivers of development in advanced economies. Here it is not. So we don't know how we found ourselves in this idea of either if you are building roads and that is the performance measurement. We don't have any other KPIs in government. No governor or president is being monitored or tracked based on reorientation of the minds and for us to be better citizens of Nigeria, focus on development, but rather how many roads did he build, how many airports, even where you don't need airports, they will build one cargo airport. Even if there are no, so many funny things are happening. It's like our politicians will not think out of the box. What you now introduce, you should be prepared to propagate this, but then let you be assured you have so many combats, particularly within the professionals. We are prepared to follow. That is the way to go. You said 50 years. Even if the next 50 years comes in, we are still within this box of roads, bridges, drainages without, you have nowadays, you have roads without the roads, we call it road furnitures, no dredges, no caps. It's a dangerous dimension. How do we reverse this? I think I want you to constitute a panel of the two, yourself and my elder brother, to discuss this issue. How do we go around that? Thank you so very much.
I was trying to say, and he also brought out the real perspective. Right now, in fact, we are stuck. We are absolutely stuck with a leadership, you know, and please, when I say leadership here, I mean every sector. Religious leadership, economic, political, societal. You know, we are stuck with this thing about, you know, people are satisfied with just being given very little. It's okay, you say you can build the road, but when the road does not serve me, what does the road do to me? There's something we call cost-benefit analysis. How is the road going to empower me as the user of the road? Does it improve my life? Does it bring quality to that society? Does it uplift us to the level of where we can think philosophy is something great rather than, you know, building a big house that you cannot maintain? So things like that, how do you make them? We are stuck actually. I was just thinking of, you know, something that happened in FCT. Imagine we have a pandemic and then the government said, we cannot go out, you're locked up. Just think, 80% of Nigerians as of today live on daily earning. They make 200 to 500 a day. So you have to go out to earn what you will eat tomorrow. You earn it today. And that's how your life is. And that's the life of Nigerians. And when you say 80%, that means Nigerians. If you're given an example anywhere in the world, you're going to say Nigerians live below subsistence level because the 20% do not even matter. Now, they come out and say lock up. They lock up Abuja, let's take Abuja, they lock up. And then they say, but you can go to the market once a week. Now, if we all go to the market once a week, it's like you are at Vatican during Christmas or you are at Arafat. So if you want to multiply your infection 1 million times, that's the road you should take. But to survive, because you have to survive to even fight for a position in the federal executive or a state executive. We need to survive. And to survive, we need to really put this brain power that we have, because it pains me. Believe me. Do you know that in Namani that came to become a governor, what he did was he saved 40% of America's women's problem when they were having pregnancy, with just a procedure he developed. They never thought of it. He couldn't do it in Nigeria. The boy that saved NASA, he can't even get a job in Nigeria. So the way the brain power in this country, that is why the person that hacked the most in the world was a Nigerian. He hacked Pentagon, he hacked every security system. They employed him because there was nothing they could do with him.
To add a little government, for sometimes little tasks that we are being given, we even fail ourselves. We even fail ourselves. That is why I always make a very simple example with our artisans. These days, when we want to tile a floor, when we want to do POP, we have to look for tilers from neighboring countries.
The infrastructure in India, it's nothing spectacular. We are moving from one town to another. You find the old colonial type roads there, because the truth is that their concentration is not on building roads or nice curbs or bridges. They concentrate more on their education. They concentrate more on developing wealth. And that is why today, quite a number of the large companies in the UK are taken over by Indians. Actually, most of Europe are taken over by Indians. So I'm glad that at least this matter is coming up here at WAQSN, but I think, like the President said, it should be escalated to a bigger forum, And another thing that gladdened me is that the President now is becoming a politician. Joined the one of politicians, so we should be hearing more and more political issues from the President, talking about airports for cargo that are not being used and so on. And then for Hajia Aisha, she's a very courageous person, but there was one day she chickened out and she became a coward suddenly. We were in a large political forum together, and she made a comment that was very, very, not controversial, but very attractive, very engaging. And then they asked her, Aisha, what do you want? She said, I want to be the president of Nigeria. And then everybody said, hey, and then she said, okay, I'll set you vice president. And I said, come on, you are supposed to be courageous, remain there, and then you push. Then why are you chickening out? And I think that, but on a serious note, I think she incited the discussion, and I think we should migrate from this thinking of physical infrastructure only. And I've always said that, even as professionals, as contributors, we have a lot more to contribute to the industry in terms of our input through thoughts than just participation. Our own is the soft arm of the construction industry, and we must put a lot of thoughts. And that is why, and I will keep saying again, when we have large gatherings of professionals, when the conservators talk, they take charge. So we must internalize this issue of thinking and really and deploying it, not just in the industry, but in the society. So I'm glad we have Hajia Aisha here.
Terms of arguments, the organs are thinking of. But I think at this point in time, we must break, and let's make it a very, very timely break for just 15 to 20 minutes. You quietly go up for your tea break. Then we can come back and finish with the remaining two other presentations. But at this point, let me recognize that our other speaker, who is the only man that is going to speak amongst three ladies, an architect, is here with us, and thank you so much.
Our very wonderful mama. In fact, she's, in fact, they say nobody.
My name. I'm the president of the Quantity Service Registration Board of Nigeria. I'm also a patron of WAQSN, Women Association of Quantity Service.
What is the main purpose of this event?
Well, you can see from the head topic, building confidence to face challenges. The women quantity surveyors, like women in all sectors of the society, actually trying to contribute their own quota. So they have to prepare themselves intellectually to ensure that they also meet up to the challenges confronting the society.
Let me say the profession itself,
Yes.
is a well-decorated profession.
Like most male professions, like most professions, they're dominating. Quantity too, especially the construction industry. But I think we're doing well now. The female members is moving up to about 18%, and I'm talking about qualified membership from about 5% to 10 years. So the progression is quite encouraging, and we're sure that maybe in the next 10-20 years, they'll be measuring up to the male.
So what are the plans you're doing to attract
more women are getting interested in the profession. More women are getting admitted to the profession, and women are qualifying.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have blocked that issue of the collapse. No. Quantity surveyors don't get, are not directly involved in issues of the collapse. But as a group of professionals that participate in the industry, we take let's say a partial responsibility. So the issue is not about quantity. We don't design, we don't put on the ground, but we part with supervision. But I think the media should now cut down on the issue of building collapse and let the country face it. We've always said it. The issue of using professionals, the correct professionals to design structures, is using the correct regulatory templates to regulate those things and to ensure that supervisions are done well. That's all. Then we stop having building collapse. But the media for years has been thinking about building collapse because they have refused to listen to the answers given before. The issues are they use the professionals. When you use quacks and you have building collapse, then what's the expect?
First, like Lagos.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Aisha, one minute. Aisha, the mass.
Aisha MS Ismail. Former Minister for Women Affairs and Youth Development.
I just want to ask you one question.
Okay.
Why did you become a surveyor? Why as a woman?
Why did I
become a surveyor as a woman? The profession itself. I'm talking about
the profession.
What prompted you?
Yeah, I'm not a quantity surveyor.
Okay.
I am actually what you call economic development planner. Okay. So I'm here to give my sisters the moral support and appreciate them, and the fact that we need professionals need to move together so that we can move the country.
Okay, your advice for the female in the profession?
For the women, like I said, the construction industry need a lot of women professionals there. Now, we don't think like men. We're always thinking in terms of, issues that are usually relegated to the back. When women are allowed to build, say, schools, first and foremost, they will not think of the school as something to make money and profit immediately. No. They start thinking like, okay, this school, is this situated where children can come easily? Is the road accessible? And is it safe for children to come? How would the climate affect it? Like rainy season, would it get muddy? Or would it... These are the kind of thoughts that motivate women. So when you put them in charge of professions, then it will become more qualitative because it will be more human-friendly rather than profit-friendly. You need more women in quantity surveying, more women engineers, more women painters, everything. I assure you, when you give women the construction industry, you will not have a road that you have a road today, and within 2 weeks the road is no longer there. It has happened in Nigeria.
So Asia, why is it that almost in all professions in Nigeria, at least Nigeria where I know very well, men are dominated? What are you doing to at least bridge that gap?
Well, Do you know that Nigeria signed so many protocols? Okay. Nigeria made too many promises as a nation. But Nigeria never, fulfills its promises and its assignments and its commitments. That is why you have people like that. And what you do in every society that is so heavily segregated, the disadvantaged person will have to crawl before before you can even be recognized, so that you can attain your own human value. It's the same if you go to the United States of America, as the women in Nigeria are not accepted and they're pushing and moving. The same black people are pushing and moving. Or if you go to Russia, the same you find people that have religious orientation are pushing. That comes with segregation. And no matter how trivial you think it is, it's a very big issue in human development. It can propel a society to greatness, or it can destroy even a society. Injustice is the number one issue that kills humanity and kills a society. And the fact of the matter is, if as a human being I'm given my value by God Almighty, a human being should not take it away from me. If I want to be an engineer in a society that says we're all free, then I should be an engineer. If I want to be the president of Nigeria as a woman, then I should work and achieve that goal if I want to. And if I don't achieve, it's not because I am not allowed or I am deterred by a system, but because of my inability or my ability. That is how a society should be. And I know that the more women professionalize, the better this country will be.
My name is QS Mohamed Abakar, the president of the Nigerian Quantity Surveyors.
What do you have for the Women Association?
Yeah, the Women Act of our profession is a very, very important arm of the whole quantity survey profession. So today is a day for them to mark the International Women's Day, and we are resolute in coming to give them support, to encourage them, because a lot needs to be done within quantity survey profession and also nationally. So that is the whole essence of us being here, to stand by them, to encourage them, and to also strategize together. Because the impact of women in the whole of the nation is substantial, and we just cannot, I repeat, we cannot give content women in the whole of the nation.
Let me ask you one simple question. Very simple. You have a contract, and I have the proposal of what is on your desk. This bill is all from bill. I see like 3 or 4.
Yeah, now we are asking a hypothetical question in contracting or what we call procurement processes. There are processes to follow. So in that respect, all the bidders will now subject to the same level of framework with templates. So that is how it will now be processed, evaluated, and the winner taken therefore. But perhaps we have to go back to the processes of preparation of the bids. Now, women should also be trained and be skilled to meet up in terms of packing, so that when the loss are, when the chips are on the table, they should also be able to compete favorably. So what we are now doing within our system to ensure that all the levels, and in fact, the ladies or women within quantity survey are doing excellently well, as much as what the men quantity surveyors are doing. Because if you recall, just about 4 years ago, we had our own first female president of the system. So which means we are very, very women friendly. We are women friendly, we are gender friendly.
Thank you very much.
The Chairperson of the Women Association of SURVEYORS in Nigeria. Actually, we are moving. And, with God by our side, the women quantity surveyors are doing great things. When I was presenting my speech, I used female quantity surveyors. Recently, we have one that become a professor of quantity surveyors in Europe, Professor Columbia. And then we have another woman who is really making waves in the ministries. She is one of the she's among the 50
inspiring women in Nigeria. She is a quantity surveyor. Yes. So I think we are moving, and by the grace of God, I think my profession in times of support, the male are really giving us that support. Yes. Actually, there are challenges. There are challenges because usually when you are on the field, the men that is tend to think that what is this woman doing here? But she knows what she's doing. It is only when you start to tell them that yes, you can do it, when you are able to show your professionalism in the field, that they respect you. And that is what I want the women to do. By God grace.
In the next 12 months, what are your plans to tackle?
Yes, actually, we go for advocacies in institutions and even secondary schools to catch them young, to tell them what is quantity surveying, why they need to study quantity surveying. So from there, we give them that passion to study the profession and then move to the university to study the course. So when they come out, even in the institutions, we go out for advocacies to tell them that this course, they are not studying it just to be a fashion designer. They can do that as part of their professional practice, but let them practice the profession because we need women in the industry.
Do you have any partnership with other countries?
Yes. Not if we, the quantity surveying profession and the women quantity surveyors, we are registered with outside quantity surveyors. We have the casting where women are also part of it. We have the AAQS, that is African Association of Quantity Surveyors. Women are also there, both in Nigeria and in the diaspora practicing. So we are really making waves. That I am happy with. Yes, thank you. I should Mohammed.
Surveyors in Nigeria, WAQSN, and I feel honored to be invited to have a presentation in my dear field, the construction profession, the construction industry. The topic, as you've heard, is the aftermath of COVID-19, agenda for change and transformation in construction industry. I stand on all existing protocols, and prior to the presentation of this paper, it is pertinent to recognize the leadership and the passion of the chairperson of Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, WAQSN, in the person of QS Aisha Muhammad, and the entire members of this great association for their valuable presence and contribution in the construction industry, even though their numbers have been low compared to their male counterparts. There is this general notion that the construction industry is a forbidden territory for women, but with the caliber of outstanding women that are seated here under the auspices of this great association, it is hoped that a lot of people will have their thought pattern rearranged. The professional women in the construction industry have their various challenges peculiar to the profession, but seeing that they are making progress means a lot. It indicates that they are equal to the task and are willing to make significant impact on the overall value chain of the construction industry. Women possess the requisite skills and competence that is needed to propel the construction industry to greater heights. Some new study claims that women are more financially responsible than men. If this claim is to be considered, then they do have a significant role to play in the construction industry, especially with respect to being quantity surveyors. There are experts in financial management, and construction is all about doing the best you can within the budget that is given to you. Globally, women make up less than 20% of the construction workforce. The reference is there, And be it as it may, there is an urgent need to have more women presence in the construction industry. With their special skills and dedication, they surely can and are already bringing sustainable and innovative solutions to our collective challenges in the construction industry. The quality of organization and precision that women display when they are determined to do something is always amazing. The construction industry and COVID-19 pandemic. In the late 2019, a part of the world was plagued with an outbreak of coronavirus disease, popularly known as COVID-19, that was soon to be declared a global pandemic. Of course, with globalization and ease of transportation, it took only a few months for the virus to reach almost every part of the world, thus creating a new global phenomenon which affected all aspects of human life: social, economic, spiritual, and mental. The effect of this virus, which is felt both positively and negatively on a global scale, has prompted and inspired a lot of innovative and diverse ideas from all sectors as a response mechanism to keep the global chain of economic growth intact. It goes without saying that the first few months of the pandemic did affect the global economy in an unprecedented manner. The construction industry is not an exemption. The construction industry is referred to as an economic activity that involves the entire construction process, from producing raw materials and manufactured building materials and components, and providing professional services such as design and project management to executing the physical work on site. Consequently, it could be deduced from the above definition that the construction industry is a multi-economy industry, which includes primary sector that deals with the actual extraction of the raw materials, secondary sector that entails the transformation of these raw materials into building materials and components and their subsequent transformation into finished buildings. Then the tertiary sector that involves the provision of consultancy services such as project management, design, and structural engineering. Hence, with this three-tier economy value chain, the construction industry could be seen as one of the critical sectors that felt and is still feeling the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. With lockdowns and social distancing and new global policies, there is an urgent need for a paradigm shift by the actors in the industry in order to remain relevant as one of the major contributors to the growth of the global economy. Subsequently, with reduced labor and access to sites, which are most likely going to persist for a long time, according to Osborne Clark, an international legal practice firm headquartered in London, the construction industry should, as an interim measure, focus on a more collaborative approach to project execution, environmental responsive designs, and construction methods that will depend more on locally available materials with sustainability as the driving force should be encouraged. In addition, modular designs whose construction could easily be supervised virtually and completed within a very short time with minimal physical interaction should be adopted. This will enable the construction workers to operate within the confines of health and safety protocols of COVID-19. With health crisis like COVID-19 pandemic, the construction industry is always at the forefront of providing emergency health facilities Therefore, there is need for a specialized training for all the main actors in the construction line, of course, including the quantity surveyors, so that we can have a financial prudent approach to construction solutions. Government needs to reform its public procurement process. Construction methods, the setbacks experienced during the pandemic can be turned into
some of the suggestions that has been expounded by the speaker. One that caught my attention is something that we're already used to, but we don't amplify it, which is to decrease the number of the workforce per time. He is calling for a shift system. If, as a woman within the construction industry, you happen to fall on the night shift, how does it affect the family? How does it affect the relationship with the organ? All that. These are the kind of questions that I want the audience, because this is more like an agenda setting as a way to contain the COVID-19 pandemic, which according to the speaker, it is something that we have to live with for a very long time. It's not something.
Why can't we have it? I remember when I was at the university, ABU, one of the students in my class did a fantastic design, and the lecturer then was saying, how do you want us to build this in Nigeria? And that was how he closed the idea. Now, the issue, and I had an Indian lecturer that was saying, if you can design a house that can float on air without foundation and you can present it and defend it, go ahead, and that's someone that has given you opportunity to come up with innovative ideas. So,
thank you for the very interesting topic. I actually really enjoyed it. So my question is around the force majeure clause, because I mean we're living in the world we are in today, the present COVID-19 that everybody's facing, and I work with a real estate company, so I have to deal with subcontractors every day to follow up with them and make sure that they meet up with their deadlines. But I feel like they're overstretching the force majeure clause where, there's COVID. We all know that there's COVID, and personally, for your personal protection, we all know that, okay, you're supposed to use your PPEs, go out with your masks and all that. So that's something that you should do on your own to protect yourself, and it shouldn't really affect the job, because really COVID-19 is here to stay until we all get the vaccines and hopefully it gets flushed out of the country or the world in general. So how do we now manage the subcontractors in delivering on their timelines? Because force majeure is an act of God. It has happened and it's here to stay. And we already know that it's going to be here for a while. So if they're not delivering when they already know what they're supposed to do, it's affecting the timeline and the job. So I've been brainstorming about it as to random ways to get them on board, but I just wanted to ask generally and see if you have another opinion.
Something that everybody knows. So, and it's something that you can objectively justify. Then as the quantity surveyor is to brace yourself with the current market prices. Then you identify those areas that will be impediment for the successful execution of the project. So whatever the subcontractor is coming with, then you have every right to object to what is not reasonable. And then, because everything you're doing, you have to make sure that you operate within the legal boundaries. There is a document, you have a contractual agreement with it. So it doesn't have any right to go beyond what is stated in the contract. Yeah, we have force majeure. Force majeure, we all know how we respond to force majeure in the construction industry. Largely, it's all about maybe payment of services or the cost of construction materials. And this can be independently verified. So I think going forward is to establish the new benchmark. So whatever they are coming with, and you can be proactive in that, okay, we're aware of this, there are differences in that, and you can be proactive by now coming up with a certain percentage increase within the limits of increase. So you already know, you're already informed that whatever the subcontractor is coming with will not go beyond 5% increment or 6% because of your independent market survey. That I had to call my quantity surveyor even this morning at night. I feel that personally. Yeah, because in a project that the quantity surveyor is the brain behind the finances, What makes you progress in the construction industry? If you know how to do your work, then it's the money that you make. Oh, this guy is making a lot of money. Your company, what is the annual return? And you now realize that everything is tied down to what the quantity surveyor has done. But what does he get at the end of the day? So you see the architect gets maybe, in a job that the quantity surveyor gives you a price bill of quantity of 1 billion naira, someone ends up giving maybe 1 million naira because he thinks you've just given me the price I'm going to be at the site, and the architect goes home with maybe 300 million naira, and you see him living lavishly, and the quantity surveyor is still, and then it's because
we hope that when the treasurer of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors to our speaker.
The chairperson, Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, and to thank you for the beautiful presentation, and also you speaking from your own personal experience of the value you place on quantity surveyors, how they have helped your organization. We want to thank you for everything you've done, and I hereby present this plaque on behalf of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So let me look for it. Adoronki Ohelami, FNIQS, FRICS, CCARB, and past chairperson of WAQSN. She is the first of 3 children. And was born several years ago in London, the United Kingdom. And at a very young age came back to Nigeria to start her schooling, and was in secondary school at the famous Girls Secondary School, Bariga, where, like it is in the profile, it is I. So I am now sorry for the time of so don't look at me and say I, and you think I am the Oyelami. Where I had my secondary school in 1974 and, to 1979. And in 1979, I represented my school in Schools Challenge, a quiz competitions in Radio Nigeria. We won the first prize in Lagos State and the second prize nationwide. I was studying for A-levels at the Federal Government College, Lagos, when I got admission into tertiary institution. I studied quantity surveying in Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, between October 1980 and July 1985. I obtained the Ordinary National Diploma in QS in 1982 and a Higher National Diploma in QS in 1985. Between October 1982 and September 1983, we had to go to a one-year industrial attachment in 384 academic session. We were 6 females in our set in 1980, but one of us traveled abroad to study. So we were eventually 5 when we graduated. I happen to be the only one now still engaged in active practice of the profession. I am a partner with Console Associate, an international construction consultancy firm, and in charge of the engineering unit of the firm. I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors and a fellow of the Royal Institutions of Chartered Surveyors, RICS, in the UK. I'm also working on upgrading my membership of the Chartered Institute of Building Services Engineers, also in the United Kingdom. I have certificates in health, safety, and the environment, 1 to 3, fire, safety, and first aid. I am an RICS accredited ACRE mediator and trained RICS APC assessor. I'm also a member of the Institute of Construction Industry Arbitrators. I am a certified construction arbitrator courtesy of the QS Academy. I received the President's Award for recognitions of the service to the quantity surveying profession in October 2019. I am currently the Secretary, Marketing and Corporate Services of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. By virtue of this position, I am also the Chairman of the Marketing and Corporate Affairs Committee and the editor of the QS Connect publication. Prior to this time, I have been the Publicity Secretary 2008-2013, Deputy Chairperson 2015 to 2017, Chairperson 2017 to 2019, and I'm currently the immediate past Chairperson of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria. Before this time, I have been ex-officio 2008 to 2010 and Financial Secretary 2010 to 2012 of the NIQS Lagos chapter. I was a volunteer resource person at the Lagos chapter tutorial classes for many years. Between these periods, I have been a member of many committees at the national level of the NIQS, including education and rating committees 2003 to 2015, examination and certification board 2013 to 2017, exam syllabus review committee 2016 to 2017.
In absentia, the custodian of the bank, NIQS Bank, and my fellow colleagues. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. It's a great honor to be asked to come and make this presentation because the chairperson knows just how busy I am. But notwithstanding, I give honor to whom honor is due and respect to whom respect is due. It works both ways. And this is a body I'm very passionate about. Forget the fact that I'm the immediate past chairperson. Women and the cause of women is a passion. It's in my blood. And I don't know when WAQSN will approach me and I will say I don't have time to do one thing or the other. I will create the time. I believe that when you love something, you will always find time for that thing. So even though I will apologize, I put the paper together very hurriedly because you know what our industry is like. When you have deadlines in the office, you just have to deliver. It's part of responsibility, and I know we're all responsible professionals. So I'm happy with the choice of the theme. It fits in perfectly with the theme for the year, the IWD theme for 2021, choosing to challenge. Now the main theme for our gathering today is building confidence to face challenges. And I've been asked to speak on leadership, women investing in women. I don't think you can get everything from a textbook. A lot has to do with the experience. And if you permit me, once I warm up, I could be here. Statistics of women confronting us. The Buhari women, I think you understand what I mean when I say Buhari women. The ministers, the women in his cabinet, we have 7 out of 43. Women presidents in 23 countries. We have world parliamentarians. We have almost 25% of them being women. In the upper chamber of our National Assembly, we have 7 women out of 109. And in the House of Reps, we have 11 out of 360. You see, we still have a long way to go. And that is why we won't have very many bills being passed in our favor. So where did we start from? The decision to invest in a woman starts from the home as a girl child.
The type of investment to be made in the woman as a girl child depends on the family background, religion, culture, size, position of the girl child in the family. In some parts of the country, you discover that in the olden days, a girl doesn't even go to school. Whether she's firstborn or irrespective of her position in the family, they just regard it that she's going to end up in a man's house, she's going to end up in the kitchen. So why spend the little income I'm making from my petty trading or farming in sending a girl to school? Religious background, culture also affect whether the girl child will go to school or not. In the olden days, the major investment in the female child was directed towards preparing her for marriage, to make her fit for her husband. The girl child was made to undergo various rites and rigors. At that point, what came to my mind was the tradition in some parts of the country where they practice female circumcision. It surprised me that even up to 1986, a friend of mine, enlightened person, still had a girl, a female child, and later on I got to hear that the child had been circumcised. And I was horrified that with your enlightenment, at least the father was a university graduate. They're from the Southwest. The mother, Lagosian, also having some form of tertiary institution experience. And appreciate our brother QSs, who have always been a source of support and encouragement to we women. We are blessed to have you, and I believe that we are the most blessed among the built environment professions. And I have a reason for saying this, because I have observed that, and there's nothing we do. It might just be one or two, and presently I know that we have more than one male QS in our midst. And if we count the number that have been with us since morning, we've had more than 10 of our brother QSs with us. And we've never had rancor with them. Yes, one or two employers have been getting away with the bad habits that we mentioned earlier on. But that's the others that have been here before, and those who are online that continue to encourage us, continue to be there to support us. We know that you believe in us and we'll never fail you. So I believe that the time has come for women to take our rightful place in leading, encouraging, inspiring one another to invest our talents and resources in the future generations of women. The time is nigh, the time is now. Don't relent.
Beautiful paper, beautiful presentation. Grand patron of WAQSN, a past president of the Nigerian Surveyors, a past president of Association of Professional Bodies in Nigeria, also a past president of African Association of Quantity Surveyors, in person of QS Shegun Agel Lekoko FNIPS. Yes, also the president of CASTLE, that is the Commonwealth Association of Surveying and Land Economy. And I will have the rare privilege of inviting him for a goodwill message. The live program.
It's never planned, but so it is. So it means my heart is close to WAQSN. I've have observed how WAQSN has grown in strength since 2004. Not too long ago that I made the singular decision that I must have women wing. And today I'm very proud of the achievements that WAQSN has made in all their things. And also growing the leaders that the Institute needs, that the country needs. Today coming to Abuja is again a women affair. A lady has written a very good book which I think is very important for well-being and development of Nigeria, Etiquette and I. And the lady is an engineer, but she's turned into a writer, and I'm the chairman for the occasion at 5 at the Yaradua Center. So I said, he couldn't have chosen the right time, and WAQSN could not have chosen the right time for me to be able to marry the two together. That one, all the big guys will be there. I hope they will listen. They just come to celebrate, mark time, socializing, but the book is really a puncher, and it will help our country grow well. Oftentimes, because I travel a lot, you see Nigerians in various organizations and establishments. Outside Nigeria, we are one of the best. But as soon as we come to Nigeria, it's like something is here to make us become a riotous mob, so to speak. And it has affected our well-being and our development. But this is where women comes in. Women are by nature organized because you have the dominion of the homes, and it's an ability that it's not, you can't buy. It's inherent. It's an innate thing that you carry. And when I came in today, I must thank the chairperson. She has a way of nudging you on to do what you don't want to do sometimes. And that's a good attribute of a leader. And she will say it in such a way that you have no choice than to support her. So I want to thank her, the chairperson, Aisha, for the leadership role you're playing, and all your executive council members. This has been, during this period, to have this kind of event is a bold initiative. And of course, the WAQSN has leadership that you can be proud of. And I know all of them. I'm the father of all of you. Yes. We are human beings, but we are different in that the women are stronger than men, and you must know it. And they stand half a step higher than men in all ramifications. So for institute that warehouses women, we cannot but be better if our women stand right. And I know with the leadership I've been seeing and the succession that is in place, NIQS is gifted, and we continue to escalate higher, not downward. The women will be really the bastion of the growth process, the development. I want to urge the up and coming young ones to look at the leaders and then know that the sky is the limit. You have a lot of opportunities. Quant surveying is just a profession, but it's a lifestyle which you can use to prepare yourself to do so many things. And I want to urge you to continue on this stride. I'll always be there for as long as my limbs are strong and heavy. And I think I'll be there for some time to come. So I thank you all for today, and I wish you all the very best.
Highlights for today's resource persons. We had Professor Babalola, who presented a paper on addressing the elephants still in the room. The elephant means a lady, a female a female with a dream, but is yet to go out. On women investing in women. Thank you for coming to grace this occasion with us. We are indeed very grateful, and we thank you. Next on the agenda is, I think it's our chairperson.
Presentation.
Okay.
Coordinators that excelled, that did very well. They really encouraged me. 2 are present. That is Mary Gone. Mary Gone. Award of merit to you for your outstanding performance as the WAQSN North Zone 1 Zonal Coordinator for 2017 to 2019. Wow. It was supposed to have been handed to you on the 20th of November in Lagos, but it's better late than never. So please, congratulations, well done. Keep it up, keep inspiring, keep investing in women. You started. Keep up the good job.
Thank you.
Did you catch this one? Present is Mary Momo. I call her Mary Edo because I remember there's another name there that I don't know how to pronounce. But Mary Momo.
Okay.
I'm presenting this award of merit to you for your outstanding performance as the WAQSN South Zone 4 Zonal Coordinator between 2017 and 2019.
Okay.
Your performance was very, very encouraging. You made my job as the chairperson very easy. Keep up the good work. God will continue to bless all of you. For raising the hands of your leader. And Olade, she's not present. She asked that I give her the award any other time. So even if she's in Ogun State. So those were the 3 that were identified. So I'm doing it in arrears. Otherwise, it should have been Madam giving them. But
by
Okay, for the speakers.
Presentation of flags. I'm sorry. Presentation of flags to the resource persons.
A privilege for me to be presenting this award on behalf of the chairperson of WAQSN. I personally have benefited from the lecture given today by Professor, and it has removed the lead. Apart from that of the women, I was not surprised when the president of the institute made that remark and requested that the papers presented today should be uploaded into our website for the men to also learn from it and to the benefits of the institute and mankind in general. Professor, you've made us proud, not only to the women, but also to the men, being the first female professor from the northern part of Nigeria, and the second in Nigeria as well. So it shows you have broken the ceiling. And also it's a privilege for me today to be presenting this award. Professor.
Not closer.
Yes.
Once more, let me take it. One more.
Will be done by our treasurer, QS Hawa Audi. But a plaque presentation to our very own IPC in the person of QS Aderonke Oyelami, FNIQS.
Present this award on behalf of the Women Association of Country Surveyors to QS Aderonke Oyelami. It's a privilege because when I assumed leadership of my chapter, she always calls that if I have any problem, if I need any suggestion, any advice, she's available. And she has been very, very helpful, and she still is. On behalf of the WAQSN, I present this to amiable SCMA, and the immediate past chairperson of WAQSN for the wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Lola, who gave us a presentation via Zoom. And this award will be presented by no other person than our latest professor, Adebi.
Right. So on behalf of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, I'm very happy to present this plaque of appreciation to Professor Olubola Babalola, who presented her paper virtually. She's going to be represented here by Dr. Ronti, so it's good that we are a trio of academicians. Please pass on our goodwill to Professor Babalola and our appreciation. We learned a lot from her paper and we look forward to hearing from her in the future. So congratulations.
We'll be having our vote of thanks by our Deputy Chairperson. Please a round of applause for her.
Of the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, I think it's a great honor to present this vote of thanks. Our utmost appreciation to the President, the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and the National Executive Council of the NIQS for always giving WAQSN a listening ear whenever we call upon you. I also want to appreciate the President, QSRBN, and members of the QSRBN board for always, being here whenever we invite them. Although they've all left, but the money section was very, very, impactful for us, or seeing them being here with us. Also, our special guest of honor, Paul Italian, also ably represented by Yuda Samau Zubairu, the former Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Aisha Ismail. I really appreciate them. They gave us their word and they came to really, identify with us. We say thank you to them. To all our resource persons, QS Professor Olubola Babalola, QS Professor Kulombri Adogbo, our own IPC, QS Aderenke Oyelami, and Architect Abdul. Thank you for your time spared to be here to enrich us with your words of knowledge. We say thank you to you all. I also wish to extend our appreciation to all our participants. We invited you and you were here, both physically and virtually, those that are online, watching us. I said thank you to you all. Our past chairperson, we are fortunate to be backed by all your advice, words of advice have helped us to move forward. We say thank you to you all. Wherever they are, I know they will get the information. And Madam Oyelami, we really thank you. Thank you so much. As a past chairperson, your advice, your immense mentorship has already moved us forward. Thank you so much, ma'am. And these events also would have been, successful without the support of the local organizing committee. I am the chair of that committee, and I know your time you spend. Sometimes we'll have meetings from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., 12 midnight, and you're always there. I say thank you so much. And our prayer is that as we go back to our journey, to our home, God will grant us journey mercy. I want us also to always observe the COVID-19 health protocols. It's very, very important. Although I'm not wearing my mask now because I wanted to do this presentation. So I always want us, everything we are doing at our communities, in our organization, at home, please let's try and observe the health protocols that the government has laid down for us. Thank you, Lord, for everything you have done. Thank you for staying put. I know the time is well spent. Thank you for staying put. Thank you very much.
Immediate past chairperson, our R&D, the secretary, too numerous to mention. Our professor, thank you so much for gracing the occasion. I love my heart for you. If you can do it, I can equally do it.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the spirit. If one can do it, you can also do it. Don't limit yourself. We have dreams. Our brains are clouded with what? With dreams. What break forth?
Choose to challenge.
Tell yourself, what do you choose to challenge? And you can do what? Talk us about diversification. As for I want to get the
has done well, very well.
Thank you. So the bags for Ololade and let's get the minister. So we will remove. So you will go and get that.